Let's move on to 5 players to watch out for this season. I think this is quite an interesting season because obviously there's a lot of incomings, a lot of business, but there are some players that we can also look out for that are a little bit under the radar. One big one for me, Emile Smith-Rowe. Season before last for Arsenal, before he got injured, he was unplayable at points. He was so creative on the ball, two-footed. One of the most naturally gifted kind of youngsters to come out of the Arsenal academy in terms of what he could do with his feet. Obviously linked to kind of playing for England and stuff like that. Never quite materialised. He's got a big season because I think there is that missing piece for England. I think going into Euro 2024, Southgate will be looking for that kind of Jesse Lingard role in the 2018 World Cup.
I know what you're saying. I just disagree, mate. I don't. It's not necessarily that I don't rate Smith Rowe. It doesn't sound like I rate him as highly as you, but I do rate him. I think there's a very good player there. I just don't think he starts for Arsenal at all. Like on no level does he get in that Arsenal team, like their best team.
What about group stage? Champions League group stages, then it's the FA Cup, League Cup, and suddenly he's played 20, 30 games. I mean, think about someone like Julian Alvarez didn't play much for Man City last season. He's won so much, and he's kicked on his career.
Emile Smith Rowe never gets in the team ahead of Martinelli, does he? Like, there's never a world where he starts.
I think he's looking to play in that Havertz role in midfield. That's what I think.
Oh, do you think he'll go deep?
I think he's more of a kind of left attacking midfielder, right attacking midfielder. If Odegaard picks up an injury, I think he should be vying to be the next Odegaard in that team.
That's interesting because I've seen him more as a direct
kind of inverted.
I thought it was Martinelli or Smith Rowe, and if that is the conversation, then I'm afraid it's Martinelli every day and twice on a Sunday. But but if you think that he's more versatile than that. Maybe. I think the jury's out though. And if we're talking about like our 5 players to watch here, I'm not sure that Smith Rowe's going to be on.
This clip is brought to you by Super 6. Super 6 are being very, very generous. They're going to give you £1 million in the opening weekend of the Premier League if you get 6 predictions bang on. I know for a fact I'm getting them bang on. Maybe we'll split the £1 million 50-50. It's a massive opportunity. Make sure you join our mini league, Club 23, to get involved. It's going to be an absolutely huge season with Super 6. For every 50 people who join the league, an extra £10 is being very generously given away by Super 6. So if 5,000 people join our mini league, that's an extra £1,000 to win in the opening weekend of Super 6.
Who's in your list then?
I think we have to put Nicholas Jackson in there.
Yeah.
I think the way that he's played at Chelsea has been like truly brilliant.
What's his style of play then? I'm trying to gauge who this guy is.
Live wire.
Is he looking to run in behind?
Pace, yeah.
Channel.
Run the channel. Creates loads of space because he pulls out wide, uses his electrifying pace. The midfielders coming through end up with a lot of room. Very good finish, very unselfish. So up for it. There was a moment. Do you know what? You know how you've asked, like, who is he? Who is Nicholas Jackson? If you want just the easiest answer, there's a 5-second little compilation, 5-second little video of him and Anthony Gordon at Newcastle. Oh, here's another one we should talk about actually. But weirdly, Nicholas Jackson and Anthony Gordon have a little thing in the States, and that tells you everything you need to know about Nicholas Jackson. Honestly, like the two of them are chasing the ball. Gordon tries to foul him, comes off worse, then jumps up, tries to lash out. And Nicholas Jackson like skills him up and wins the corner. Like really in that one tiny moment, it was a microcosm of exactly who he is, which is full of aggression, full of pace, full of skill and product.
Yeah.
He's excellent. I would certainly put him on this. But the other one I mentioned there, Gordon.
Oh, yeah.
Your reaction.
You were slagging him off for weeks on the show. I mean, I always back this kid. I think he's fantastic young talent. No, all gas aside, obviously one player at the tournament at the Euro under-21s. He obviously showed a lot of talent for Everton. He almost kept them up. I'm a massive non-believer in someone that treats the club. The way he treated Everton, I thought was really poor.
Yeah, I don't like him.
And I don't think when he played for Newcastle, we were doing a stream and he threw his bib off and all that when he got substituted and all that. I thought, God,
who do you think you are?
Like, who do you think you are, mate?
Some kind of superstar.
Yeah,
he's got to swing it, shake it, move it, make it. Do you think that he? Do you think that Gordon gets in the Newcastle team?
No, but he shouldn't. He shouldn't.
Hang on. So think about. He certainly doesn't get in on one side because the side where Saint Maximin has just vacated is now not going to be his because presumably Isak will challenge for that. Harvey Barnes will challenge for that side. Well, yeah, so he won't. But the other side. I'm not a big fan of Anthony Gordon, but he's better now, Almiron, isn't he? He's better than Jacob Murphy.
Yeah.
So that
Eddie Howe's got a system where if he doesn't fit the bigger plan.
But the only way that he gets in the team, he can't get in the team through the middle.
No,
He can't get in the team on the left. So he can only compete with the right.
probably. Yeah, I think you're right. But
So who does Eddie Howe start? Almiron, who weirdly he seemed to quite like.
well, Murphy was starting a lot at the back end of last season.
But Gordon's better
not
than
good
Murphy,
enough.
isn't he?
But I don't think Gordon's. I mean, they got Champions League group stages to play. They might actually need. I mean, the more we talk about it, I think Barnes starts with them instantly, and obviously Isak does as well. I think they've got a lot of work to do to actually compete in the Champions League and compete for the Premier League. But Gordon's got the ceiling. There's no doubt about that. The big thing for me is his work ethic. It's no good showing it for 6 weeks in pre-season, showing it at the Euro. I mean, how many players have had a good Euro under 21 and we've never seen them again?
Yeah.
So I want the proof's in the pudding with him. I want to see him work hard for 6 months. Eventually, he will start. Eddie Howe's the kind of guy that starts a Murphy, starts Dan Burn, all these guys. He starts servants to the club. He starts people that are loyal, that work hard.
System players.
He's just like Klopp or Guardiola. Look at Fabian Delph playing 38 games for City, in the Centurion season.
Yeah.
There's loyalty there.
Did he play the 38 games?
Maybe not. He probably missed a couple, but he's basically ever present. And same with Zinchenko. So there's roles in these modern managers for players that just, they work hard.
What at your club actually? What about this Oscar Bob?
I don't know enough about Oscar Bob. I was going to go with someone like James McAtee, came back from Sheffield United on loan. He is such a dynamic midfielder, scored some fantastic goals for Sheffield United last season, helped them get promoted. I want someone like James McAtee to stay at the club. He's another example of the City Academy surely being the premier academy in football at the moment for me. And we're selling all these players. We sold Trafford to Burnley, Lavia last season, Southampton. Rico Lewis is another great example, Cole Palmer. But for me, James McAtee, he's so naturally gifted on the ball. It's unbelievable.
Curtis Jones?
Yeah, Curtis Jones at the back end of last season. I remember, was it against Leicester City? He had an unbelievable performance against Leicester City. And Jamie Carragher was saying, I think there's space for him to kind of come back to that kind of original form that all Liverpool fans thought he could be. It remains to be seen with Curtis Jones. He's been around for ages, hasn't he, Curtis Jones?
They're going to need him in the middle now, though. Like, in a way, this demolition that has happened to the Liverpool midfield will actually have done him a favour, I think.
Yeah.
Especially if Liverpool don't sign somebody. If Liverpool go out and sign... Well, they're linked with Lavia, aren't they? If they go and sign Lavia, then I don't really know where Jones fits. But if Jurgen Klopp decides that his midfield going into the new season is Szoboszlai, McAllister, Jones, I think all of a sudden it gives Jones like this lease of life. It gives him like some impetus. He was excellent for England in the Euros.
Yeah.
We're now embarking on a season ahead of a European tournament.
Yeah.
I think that he could be eyeing up that tournament thinking, do you know what? Henderson has left Liverpool. I think that probably means he's left England. Not the country, the national side.
His ability to play serious football.
So, I don't know. I feel like it's a massive moment for Jones here.
He's a weird one for me. Has he got technical ability on the ball? Yeah, he has. Yeah. Has he got work ethic? I think he does. Is it just one of those players, a bit like, you didn't back Emile Smith-Rowe as much as I did. I think he's been unlucky with injuries.
But do you know what
Some of these players are a little bit unlucky with their injuries.
But do you know what it is? It's because we're talking about a player starting for Arsenal in one of the most important positions on the pitch, where they have already a borderline elite level footballer in Martinelli.
Yeah.
It isn't that Emile Smith-Rowe isn't wonderful. It isn't that Emile Smith-Rowe wouldn't contribute to most football teams in the world. It's just he won't, I don't think, get the opportunity to contribute to the team he's at. Circumstances counted against him. It's not that he's not amazing. He's amazing. It's just he's not the best in the world in his position, which is what you have to be to get into the Arsenal team.
Yeah.
Similar situation with Jones. Jones is a glorious footballer, a wonderful midfielder. But he's not one of the best in the world in his position. And he's replacing either Fabinho or Milner or Henderson or whoever it would be, who at various points in their careers have been the very best in the world in their position. So I think it's just so difficult. It's just the standards are so high.
But I back Jurgen Klopp. I mean, look at some of the players that he's made.
Yeah,
Matip's come in. I never back Matip.
Oh, mate, he's done
Firmino's come in. Jota.
He made Robertson. £7 million sign.
Exactly. Trent come from the academy. So, I mean, if Curtis Jones stays fit, there's no reason why he doesn't have a great season. And he actually replaces, like you said, Henderson in that kind of England setup, at least being shortlisted to be on the plane for Germany, Euro 2024.
Do you know what? On a Liverpool front, my selection for this is actually a Liverpool player. I think Darwin Núñez has a big year.
Yeah, he's been unbelievable in pre-season.
Although, do you know what? I was talking to a couple of Liverpool fans from the YouTube space who seem to think that he doesn't start in the Liverpool first team. Obviously, Salah's on one side, Luis Diaz on the other, and Cody Gakpo was what Liverpool fans were telling me, because I was like, Nunes is going to be the boy this year. And they went, maybe. But I'm not sure how often he starts because of the other options.
It's a strange one, because I agree. I think he's... he didn't show enough goal-scoring prowess last season. He missed about every game we did a stream for. He missed about 6, 7, 8 sitters. But what he did show was scary levels of pace. He was scary aggressive. He reminded me of Luis Suarez a little bit in terms of how he pressed and harried people.
He scored. Was that in Europe? He scored an amazing, one of those back flicks, Gianfranco Zola back flick.
Yeah, wasn't it? Yeah.
I think it was a big game anyway. I can't remember.
It might have been Real Madrid.
Yeah. Anyway, but he's got that He's got that ability.
Yeah.
Like, very few players in the Premier League have the ability to do that.
Yeah.
Score a back heel against Real Madrid, who were the champions at the time.
1,000,000%. And one more, should we just say Garnacho at Man United? Got to represent Adam while he's not here. I think he was the one player that didn't quite... he's the one player that represented Man United in the FA Cup final. He showed exactly what it meant to play for United. He showed so much quality last season. He's a fantastic young talent for me at Man United. I think he'll do very well.
Play enough football?
No, and the issue is that Højlund's come in. That means that kind of false line system that Erik ten Hag might have been looking at in terms of Sancho, for example. That's going to be Højlund's role now. So it means there's only 2 positions. Anthony has to play football because he costs nearly 100 million quid. And Rashford has to play. He's on a brand new, spanking new contract. So Garnacho will play in the Champions League, I'm sure. There's loads of football to be played at a club like Man United. And I thought he was fantastic in the FA Cup final when he did play.
Yeah, I agree.